Hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up! Come on now. We're going to have action soon. Right here. It ain't going nowhere. Boy, your ass got some technique, boy. You ain't show me that this summer. Hey, why on tack?
Ball at the 5, 3rd down and 2.
That was bad.
Let's go have some fun, bro. We ain't got to talk about too much.
He wasn't playing the ball.
It's holding.
Cliff. The Cliff. How is that not called?
That ain't gonna call a damn thing.
What is the delay for? He's standing right there.
He's taking a card out. He's a piece of paper.
It's that close? Dear Lord.
Hello and welcome. We are the Aussie guys. I am AJ. This is G behind me. And, what's that? That's gin, obviously.
1 litre of gin in a plastic container. Good old days. The good old days. So if I start to slur halfway through, or even pass out, there's a good chance because this is, I put too much gin in this.
That'll be interesting. And Ben, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I feel like now I should have filled this full of gin. That would have been pretty impressive too.
It looks like really strong urine.
Perhaps it is.
Oh, where's my mic? Can you hear me okay? Sorry, my mic.
No, we can't hear you really much
down.
at all.
Down.
There we go. Now we can hear you properly.
I was going to say that.
Actually put it back, G. Put it back, G. It was better before.
I don't blame you, mate. I really don't blame you. When I listen back to my own voice, it's quite hard to listen to think that you actually sound that way. Is that what makes singers really good? Is it the fact that they're tonally not deaf, so they actually what they hear is who they are? Do you know what I mean? No. Is that why they're good? Not that they've got everything else going for them. It's the fact that the note that they hear is the true note. Like you've listened back to your own voice. Everybody does. We don't sound anything like what we hear in our own ears. Do you know what I mean?
I think we do.
No, we don't. I don't sound, mate. See, that's the problem because you can't actually hear what I hear.
I can hear what you hear.
No, you can't. Not. It's like no, but it's like. Does everybody see everything exactly the same?
Well, clearly not.
No.
Philosophically or physically?
Well, both probably. well, definitely. One.
Saying that there's some people that you only want to hear sing. You don't want to hear them talk. Like it's like someone like Adele, for example. She's got unbelievable voice, and then you hear her talking. You're like, oof, I couldn't have a conversation with her for about 5 minutes for sure.
You couldn't? Yeah, but you're sort of, you're a little, even though you came from like a, rough and tumble part of Brit, you sort of you have got a little bit of a plum in your mouth, really, don't you? You've really tried to shake where, your true roots.
How dare you?
Well, mate, I grew up I didn't grow up a bogan, but I sort of,
But you're going to say, but.
I do, like I'm a butcher. I've always said I'm a butcher of the English language. There is no doubt about that. Anyway.
So listen,
this always makes me sound a lot better, I reckon.
Well, again, you're not hearing what we're hearing clearly. So you said yesterday you went to see a movie.
Well, we spoke about James Bond last time and how crap that was. Save your money. Wait until you get it for like 99 cents on what's that?
iTunes?
No, what's the other one that everybody watches?
Netflix.
Netflix, yeah.
No, well, Netflix, things come on there and you see them. You're probably thinking of like a premium on. Oh no, it wouldn't go into Disney Plus. Some of the streaming services have premium.
Yeah,
Amazon does.
Yeah,
Amazon Prime has premium.
So wait for it to go to 99 cents,
which is just rude. When it's got you're already paying the monthly thing, and then they're just like they dangle it in front of you.
I
and
know,
they go,
it's bullshit.
Oh, $20.
It's like $26. You can buy it and own it. What the fuck do I want to own a movie? Like, why does anybody want to own a movie? I don't understand that. I suppose we all got DVDs in the day.
Oh yeah,
but I don't think I owned many DVDs. It had to be something about it that made me go out and actually purchase.
Or it'd be something that you'd be wanting to watch multiple times, or maybe of, a movie which is like a once in a generation. Speaking of which, G.
Yes. Went and saw June on Thursday night. Oh.
For the viewers at home, Dune. He saw Dune.
What did I say? June. Like as in, hey, June.
Yeah,
that's Jude.
That's Jude.
But
you
the
get
month. The
get the
month.
idea.
No, Dune. Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Oh, awesome. 9 out of 10. No, it was, mate, it blows me away. Like, I know how far we've come in like the original one's on tonight, which is you look at it and just go, it's like watching Flash Gordon.
Yep. The 84 one.
Yeah, the 84.
With Kyle MacLachlan. There's an awful lot of again, I can't do it if I cover my mouth. Yes, I'm feeling like I want to do this and I'm going to. There's a lot of exposition just like in the head. Now that in this modern one, there's none of that.
No, and it just the way the special effects these days is just like everything looks so. It's a movie that I think it's the most realistic looking movie, like of a science fiction based movie.
Yep.
That I've seen probably ever.
Yep.
I think the only other one that would sort of come next to that was the second in the series of Blade Runner.
Same director.
Same director. Really?
Yeah.
Ah,
Denis Villeneuve.
There we go. And same score. Like Hans. Hans, mate.
He's amazing.
He's incredible. Incredible. The score's masterful. He's a god.
It's an amazing score.
So yeah, but just realistically looking, just the worm going through the sand. It's just
amazing.
It's just absolutely brilliant.
And look, I would say to you,
at
if
no
you
time
haven't
do you ever look at it and go, "Oh my god, it's a green screen." I don't even think.
No.
Oh,
they didn't do well. Of course, they did that, but they didn't do a lot of it.
No, it was awesome. Go if you're into, mate. If it's hard because you got to be into that sort of type of genre of movie. But if you're into a good score and just what they can do these days,
I would say for a book that was criticized for a long time as being a bit unfilmable, he does an excellent job of making it very easy to understand.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of stuff going on.
There is.
Whole Benny Gesserit stuff is, if you haven't read the book, then you kind of don't get it.
And it's great that they've put it into 2 parts.
Yes. It needs to be. Yeah. Anyway.
2.5 hours, no problems.
Oh, yeah. It goes pretty quickly. In fact, you get to the end of
Bond, it was like, oh my God, I've still got looking an hour and a half at your watch. Of this movie to go.
It was like watching the Bears and the Lions on Thanksgiving.
Like, how much longer?
Yeah.
At least if you were at Thanksgiving, you could sort of eat.
Mate, it's almost like watching 2 college bowl teams that like finish the season at like 6-6 and they still get to play in a bowl game. And you got 4 hours of this crap in ahead of me. It's a bit like that. But anyway,
let's talk some NFL
football. Yes.
Now, listen, I think one of the stories of I just quickly wrote down one of the stories maybe of this fantasy season, but certainly it's we're getting very close to fantasy playoffs. Injuries.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown.
Oh, Antonio Brown. Well, you can add Antonio Brown to the out players.
Dude, is he like seriously just really lacking any grey matter?
Yes. Next question.
Outside of playing football,
yep.
Dumb as dog shit. Like seriously.
It's not the first time, is it? And it certainly won't be the last. I don't think it's.
I just, you forge. Did I read this correctly? Did he get caught because the guy who forged the vaccination for him, he wouldn't pay him?
Is that the reason?
I read something like that.
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
Now I may be wrong. I think the guy wanted 10 grand.
Okay.
I just read that. Like I'm reading headlines, so
who knows?
Who knows? But I just don't have time to go through all that crap. But it's just like here's a guy that forges a vaccination, yet he'll stick his fucking feet in dry ice for like, an hour and have his feet burnt off. Like, where's your brain at? This is good, and yet I'll go and fake this one.
Logic doesn't play a part.
There's no frontal lobe.
And, I had someone reject a trade offer. I was trying to trade Mike Evans in a league. Mike Evans is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but this was just a deal in which I was trying to move Mike Evans, and the person rejected it and said, look, Antonio Brown's coming back soon. My reply was like, mate, you don't have to worry about Antonio Brown. You really don't. Like, he was already, I think, slated to still be out a couple of weeks with whatever this injury is that he has, ankle, and then add this to it, But anyway,
just another door of the, of Antonio Brown that we walk into and just go, oh my God, where am I?
Yes. If you ever need confirmation that running back backups are quite valuable, Deandre Swift out this week. Dalvin Cook is out. We've got Melvin Gordon doubtful. I don't think he's going to be playing.
We've got Darrell Henderson battling a quad injury.
We've got
practice on Wednesday.
Other ones, Kyler Murray and Nuke are game time decisions. Andy Dalton is starting for Justin Fields. Just to add in there. Jalen Hurts, I believe, is questionable. Daniel Jones is definitely out. We've got Mike Lennon starting. So, man.
Alvin Kamara missed the game on Thursday as well. So.
Yep. Good one to add in there. And obviously we've got Derrick Henry, who's injured at the moment. So in terms of like running, even Zeke, just running back.
Zeke not looking great.
Man, Pollard. Whoa.
But
McCaffrey went on IR.
McCaffrey's gone on IR. It's like, how did we forget that one? Yep. I think because we're so used to it now.
Yep.
But it is. I must admit that I don't obviously own any good players on my fantasy teams because I'm not really hit by any of these outs. But it is. Is it more? Do we say this every year? Where is it more this year than it was the year before, or is it just that we forget what happened last year and we just sort of more concentrating on what's going on this year?
Well, I think there's an aspect of like serious injuries are always serious injuries, right? But I think there's an aspect of because the season is longer, that maybe the tipping point of like you would play versus not play is probably lower.
Is it also the IR? You can put teams on IR for only 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Yep.
So it's just easy to put a guy on IR for 3 weeks.
That's right.
Ganley.
Hey.
It's working. Yeah, hey, Chris, type up your apology to AJ, please.
Why? What did he do wrong?
Well, it was partly my apology to you, AJ, because I texted during the show last week because Chris's messages weren't coming up. I said AJ and IT. Not
yeah.
They don't collaborate very well for someone who actually teaches it as a teacher.
I see.
And it wasn't you at all. It was actually Chris.
Never mind. That's quite all right. Now,
I'm sure an apology's coming here. Oh, no, he's going to come. No, with.
Oh, it has. Well, why is that?
Your June discussion says, if you're a Mrs. G,
Mrs. Ganley. What?
Oh,
Denise?
I thought you were talking about me.
No.
Me being G and I don't know why she was there with me.
Why?
Why? What have we done? Fuck, man, I'm always in trouble. If it's not my wife, it's somebody else's.
Apple. End of story.
Yes, his Apple phone, it didn't work. Like his texts don't work on his phone yet, work on his iPad.
Oh. So. Okay, all right, no worries.
So you were saying we sort of
listen. We
holes early here.
Yeah. Obviously, the fantasy playoffs. I mean, thankfully, fantasy playoffs. A week later in most leagues, this year, given the extra week. But week 13, we are getting very, very close.
Very close.
Most leagues have got like 2 more weeks of the fantasy regular season. But a bit of a week 13 themed pod. And
lucky for some.
Lucky for some.
Lucky for others.
But we're going to make it lucky for you.
Oh, are we?
I don't know.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Not with the players I'm going to give you.
Do we ever do that for our listeners?
No,
really?
No, it's just three guys. It's 3 guys talking crap.
But the key is the number 13.
Yes.
The key is the number 13. And yes, Ganley, you are correct that, or I should say, Mrs. G, June is unfilmable, but Denny Villeneuve did it.
Oh, he has.
He did it.
He has.
I challenge you to say that he didn't. I think he did a fantastic job of filming the unfilmable.
Yeah, go and see it.
Yeah. I'm assuming that it has been seen because Mrs. G wouldn't comment if she hadn't seen it.
I hope not.
You wouldn't do that, would you?
All right, so let's get on to it.
Okay, I'm going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
So 13. The lucky number is 13. Am I correct?
That is correct.
So, G, do you want to explain?
Well, it's lucky for some and unlucky for. Well, this is not my idea. This is another one that Ben's brought on. I did have to do a little bit of molding on this one.
Should we say massaging? G, let's be.
Okay.
It better sums up our relationship, I think.
It does. It does. Mate, you almost got a really nice ashtray this week. It was so good. It's getting better every week. It's getting a better ashtray.
Okay. So anyway, we are going to essentially put together a team. This is not a draft. We're just going to be putting our players up.
Yeah.
And we have used the Fantasy Pros rankings for week 13 and for
a PPR
format for quarterback. Oh, I wonder if I had PPR set on mine.
Oh, that changes it dramatically.
Jeez, I wonder if I
not
did.
Not dramatically, but it does put
of course.
people in a lot of.
Anyway, you'll soon find out if I did or didn't.
We will.
So
I'll get it up here so we can
okay,
have a look. See how much you screwed this up.
So yeah, quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a defense, and a kicker. Now for quarterback, running back, tight end, defense, and kicker, we're going outside of the top 13. Right. And for wide receiver, because wide receiver obviously is a lot.
No. Running backs were going outside the top 26.
No way. No way.
There aren't 26 running backs in the league.
Mate, I went outside. Yeah, there is. This week there is. Okay.
But that's not what your message said.
Well, I'm going out. I'm going deep then. You guys go shallow. You stay in the shallow end where, nothing's going to happen to you. The water's a little bit warmer.
Greg and Tracy Sharrock.
I'm going to go out.
Top 13, running back, tight end, quarterback.
Why is it Greg? Why is my
Greg and Tracy?
I don't know. I got no idea.
Do you ever text? Don't be handing out my number.
No, your number isn't on here. And
how'd you spell Tracy? Just for a matter of course.
E-Y? Yes, E-Y.
Okay. She gets really pissed when people don't put the E in.
Top 26 wide receiver. That's what you said. You said it.
Damn, I didn't even read my own text. Okay, well, I'm going deep. You guys can go. You can go play in the kiddies pool, and I'm going to go in the deep blue.
Oh man,
I'm going in deep blue.
Yep.
All right.
Okay,
that's good. Well, we're not going to
necessarily have the same ones.
Exactly. Well, we're definitely probably not going to have the same now.
Well, and, probably quite relevant, given all the injuries, probably quite relevant because people will be searching. Not that these guys are necessarily, or they might be, depending on your league, on the waiver wire. They could be trade targets. Some of these guys will be cheapish.
Well, mine will be.
Yeah, yours will be on the waiver wire, I imagine.
They may be. They may be.
Quarterback. Let's start at quarterback.
Okay. Well, do you want to go first, AJ? Because I want to see if you screwed this up.
Well,
it doesn't matter with quarterback because quarterback PPR standard is exactly the same.
Oh, yeah, probably. My choice was Taylor Heineke.
Who comes in at number 16.
16.
Yes.
He's at Las Vegas. Now, listen.
I actually found this quite hard.
It is. And Heineke is a bit boom or bust. mind you, I was just sort of looking for the silver lining. He has thrown over 200 yards in 3 straight, but it's but some of them outside here are I don't know, but you roll the dice on him, and I think it's a good matchup. He could do quite well.
A good matchup.
McKissick is out. That's not great because McKissick was getting a lot of ball. Although Gibson has been looking pretty good.
Good if you own shares in Gibson.
36 touches last week, Antonio Gibson.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. That's crazy. And I did mean to ask you guys, or G, primarily because G, you might know, but is his name Deandre Carter?
Yes.
I don't know much about him, but he got a bit of ball as well.
He's pretty much come from what year
was he undrafted?
Yeah, it was.
He was.
Is this his second year?
I think maybe third. He's been around a little while. I think he was with the Niners for a while. Like he was on their practice squad, and I think he was in Carolina maybe. But he's never really had a run, at a team. But looks like a useful guy, big bodied guy.
Might be a good guy to pick up on the India bench. I don't know.
Well, I have him on in one of our dynasty leagues. I just sort of got it in a deep league. I just got him sitting on my bench.
Right. Okay.
But then again, in deep league in dynasty, you have a lot of guys that are going to do nothing sitting on your bench.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Of course. True.
They should have like the bottom couple of positions is all speculative sort of guys.
Yes. Yep.
And you just turn them over.
Yep.
All the time. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Ben, who you got?
I've got Tua. Tua's got the Giants. Look, it doesn't blow you out of the water with yardage, over the last few weeks, but he completed 82% of his passes against the Jets. Bettered that last week with 87% completion. And I mean, we know where most of those went. 9 catches, 137 yards, and a touchdown for Jalen Waddle, who was just phenomenal. And you can only see that continuing. My only sort of question that I looked at was, the Giants are 7th in pass DVOA, but they're also starting Mike Glennon at quarterback. So you get the feeling that,
they might be off the park a fair bit.
Exactly. Tua's going to get plenty of opportunity. And, oh, very nice. Is that a hardback there, AJ?
Yeah, no, sorry. That's not. I missed it. I missed the queue by about 15 minutes.
Yeah,
but anyway, no. I was holding that up for Mrs. G. What's that?
It is hardback too.
Yeah. This is a nice sort of deluxe hardback. Yeah.
Very nice.
Anyway,
so look, Tua, I think Giants. I'm struggling to work out what the Giants are trying to do, if I'm honest. But their defense has been okay, particularly
defense
at the front.
Has been good.
Yeah, Leonard Williams really, leading the line up the top there. They've got some nice pieces. So look, it could be an interesting matchup. But I fancied Tua last week. I think we talked about the game last week with Miami. We liked both the quarterbacks in that game, and it turned out good. For Tua against Carolina. So. Yeah, I just think he's on form, and like you say, outside of that top 13, it was difficult to really pick someone who has been playing well and also has a good matchup. Like there just wasn't a guy.
Yeah. Look, I've got Tua as well, man. He has since week 6, he has the best completion rate of any quarterback.
Has he really?
He does.
Wow.
And he also has the highest RPOs. At the moment, he's at 18%. 18% of his plays are RPOs.
Wow,
which is the highest. Like there's players that have had more RPO plays this year, but for the amount of times that he's thrown the ball or what, like that he's played, I don't know how they worked it out. Like Mahomes has had more, but he's thrown a lot more. So mate, best completion rate, and like RPOs it comes down to the fact that you really need everything to click. You need your running back in the game. You need your receivers. You need receivers that are willing to go across the middle. You need everything just to work, and everybody do their role exactly the way they need to do it for it to work. But mate, if it's working for them, look, what they won the last 4 games.
Yep.
Mate, it's starting this. Mate, if it works, it works. It's not something I don't think you want to run a whole left fence on all the time, obviously.
Yep.
But mate, it's working for him at the moment.
And it's, you know, the whole talk, right, you know, at the start of the year, which was a little bit harsh on Tua because he'd obviously had an injury last year and he had an injury earlier this year. And
yeah, he had the back. Was it back surgery?
Yeah.
Hip surgery, wasn't it? Hip surgery.
It sounded like the organization just didn't want him, right? Like there was all the talk about Watson, and he's kind of silenced that completely. And if you watch, you know, I was watching him, you know, throw, particularly some of the throws to the sideline. Looks great. You know, looks like he knows where he's going, perfectly placed. The only thing that really gets me about Tua is when he does try to throw it deep, he looks uncomfortable. He looks like he's almost, you know, like late Philip Rivers, like he's trying to shovel it, like shot put it. Like he looks a bit off when on his deep throws. But saying that, his accuracy is still good.
Yeah, it's not a natural act.
It's just because he's a lefty. That's the reason, isn't it?
No, it's not, mate. Lefties are the best. I love watching a left-handed quarterback.
It's something it takes a bit of getting used to, I think, though.
To watch a left-handed quarterback?
Yeah.
I think it's more the way that Tua throws the ball that I find it looks a little bit awkward. But if you go and watch someone like Michael Vick,
yeah,
that's a whole different.
Yeah,
that's poetry watching that ball come out.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah. You know,
very true. Okay, all right. So that's quarterback.
That's quarterback done.
Couple of choices there for you, but let's go to running back, and we're going to put up 2 running backs.
Oh. Some of us in the kiddie pools, in the waiting pool. And
I don't know what yours are going to be.
I'm in the deep end.
Yours is going to be junk.
I'm in the diving end of the Olympic Stadium, and you're in that little warm-up pool that they have.
I don't know who. I've got no idea who you're going to nominate.
Go into, you know, just what is it? Is it fresh? What the hell do they get in? They dive into a pool, then they get out and go and hop into a little round one. What is it? Is it like a jacuzzi?
I think,
or is it fresh water? What is it? Why do they get in there?
Isn't it ice water? I thought it was ice water.
No, I don't think it's ice water. They have a shower.
I don't think it'd be ice water. It's probably more likely warm, isn't it?
Is it warm? Has it got like Radox in it or something?
Mind you, is that really what you want to do? Get into warm water and then go dive into cold water?
I don't exactly know if the Olympic swimming pools is cold. I'm pretty sure they're heated pools.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we've got no idea.
We've got no idea.
I don't mind going down.
Ganley says it's a jacuzzi.
Jacuzzi. I like the going Alice in Wonderland sort of type trips that we make. I miss those. All right. Sorry.
Okay.
Go.
So running back.
Running back. Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Ben, hit us up with a running back, dude.
Oh, you know, it's interesting because my first guy is outside the top 20. So he's the number 22 ranked on Fantasy Pros. He is going up against the Jets, who are the dead last, 32nd against the run. You know, they give up the league high in touches and fantasy points to opposing backfields. It's Miles Sanders. And it's interesting because...
Is he playing?
Yeah, he was removed from the injury report. He's given the go-ahead.
Okay.
I thought Boston Scott was playing.
Boston Scott is doubtful, so he's not going to play.
Scott's doubtful.
When did it happen?
So Howard's out, Scott's doubtful, and Gainwell will play. So
when did Boston Scott become doubtful?
I'm sure it was
no, seriously.
I'm just reading here that Sanders was upgraded to full participant on Thursday.
Wow.
And Boston Scott missed another day with illness So he didn't practice Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday.
Because that's my guy.
Boston Scott.
There you go. So
I shouldn't be in the deep end there, mate. Is that what you're telling me? I should stay out of the deep end, mate, because I'm drowning here.
Well, no, do you know what? This
you've got the Eagles
me.
Backfield. Yeah.
This irks me because one, he hasn't got a touchdown this year, Miles Sanders, which is criminal. He also, really
questionable.
Really took them down the field. He had 4 carries, took them all the way down inside the red zone, and Boston Scott got 4 straight carries from inside the red zone. And you're just like, I mean, I think we talked last week about, come on,
who was the
give a guy a chance.
What was the other game that we saw that happen? That he took them all the way down the field. Was it?
I think it was Pollard.
It was Pollard, wasn't it?
And
then Zeke gets it's like, and Zeke just walks it in.
Pollard decided that he'd just take it in from 58.
I'd just take it
just to knock that one on the head.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, I mean, this is I'm not a big fan of that the situation there in that backfield. I've been pretty vocal about how the coaching staff don't seem to know what they're doing. But the matchup cannot be ignored, and the fact that those injuries and stuff, you just feel like if Sanders gets the first look and hopefully runs with it, then he's going to be in for probably his best day of the year.
Yeah, well, look, I had Boston Scott, so I'll just give you. So the stats obviously align for the same, for the backfield, obviously. So the Jets have given up 17 TDs to running backs already this season. The next team behind them at number 2, the worst, has 14. And I think the next one after that's 11. So you can see how bad the Jets run defense is. They've given up 1,237 yards, which is the most in the NFL. In the last 4 weeks, now this is working out numbers in my head, so this is wrong, but roughly about 130 yards a game to running backs, and they've given up 6 TDs in those 4 weeks at an average of about 26 fantasy points plus, and a little bit of change over the last 4 weeks. So there you go. That's what you're up against. So if you got Sanders, that's a good call. And if Sanders was there, I thought Boston Scott would be a nice little sort of, maybe flex option sort of type bloke for you.
Yep.
So
okay,
there we go. All right, let's hope that the next guy that Ben probably hasn't got the number 1 running back on that team, and I've picked the number 2 guy. But anyway, AJ, who'd you have?
I'll give you my first one is James Robinson.
Hold on.
He's at 14.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You guys are playing with in the kiddie pool.
Yep.
Okay.
Kiddie pool.
Yep.
At the Rams.
Didn't you have James Robinson last week?
I don't know. Did I?
I
don't know. I like him.
Yeah, obviously.
Look, he's very consistent. He's averaging a touchdown per game. And he's seeing a few passes per game as well, which is nice. And apart from, it took him a few weeks. I think it took a few weeks really for Urban Meyer to give him the rock properly. And if you look since week 3, there's only been one blip, and that was week 8 versus the Seahawks. And basically every other week he's been greater than 11.8 fantasy points. And even then, that 11.8, mostly he's been sort of around 15, 20 fantasy points. It's been really good. So he's been very consistent, very low floor, I would say, for James Robinson, and playing against the Rams this week. And I think is a pretty good selection.
Yeah. Mate, I'm on Fantasy Pros now. I'm just going down all the running backs.
Yeah.
I'm down to what number am I at? I'm at 106. Oh. Who the hell are these guys?
Did they rank all the way to 106?
106.
That's ridiculous. How could you?
I don't know.
Who's the name? Who's the name at 106?
Point 2.
Gary Brightwell.
Nick, he's there. He's there at number 101. 106 is Nick Baldwin.
I don't know who that is. I know who Brightwell is.
Never heard of him. Michael Burton.
That's ridiculous to rank that far.
Gary Brightwell. Yeah. Adam Prentice. Who the hell is Adam Prentice?
Because he could get a carry.
Here's a name you'll love at 94. Wendell Smallwood.
Wow, is he still
playing? Remember Wendell Smallwood?
At 94.
Yeah.
That must be an error.
Where the hell have you got? I haven't got him at 94 on mine. Oh, 92. I've got him here.
Oh.
Yeah, bloody hell. Blast from the past. That's like running into an old girlfriend and going, oh my God, how. Oh, no, I won't go there.
How many of your old girlfriends were called Wendell?
I don't have that many old girlfriends, man. I wasn't big on the dating scene. So, it's just bloody hell. Oh, mate. Yeah.
That's funny.
That's incredible.
Second. What about your second running back?
Ben. Oh, okay.
We'll go Ben. Oh, no, we'll go.
No, Ben can go because he's probably got the number. He's probably got
number one in the backfield.
I've got number two.
Yep.
Well, I doubt it. Again, the news, like AJ said earlier, the news that Melvin Gordon could miss the game for the Broncos against the Chiefs. So I'm going to go Giovanni Williams. Seems like he had over 100 all-purpose yards last week, including a touchdown. Looked explosive. It's amazing how it takes a coaching staff, a bye week to realize how good a running back is. So hopefully he's gonna, the Chiefs defense has done well particularly over the last month. And particularly the move with Chris Jones back to the edge, and they're plugging the holes at linebacker. So it won't be probably the matchup that you see on your stat sheets when you look at the actual stats for the Chiefs, because that defense was pretty abysmal over the first couple of months. So, but Williams, look, the talent's there, the explosiveness is there, and if the Broncos did what they did last week, which is get up early against a fancy team, he could really ball out in the run game. So Giovanni Williams, he's ranked 20th this week.
Yeah, I had Giovanni Williams as well. So
why don't you say, hey, let's start Jonathan Taylor?
No, because he's outside of the top 13.
He's outside, mate, but the guy who's been taking 50% of his carries isn't playing.
That's right. So the only other thing that I wrote down, Ben, was that Gordon did outtouch him 18-17 last week. So if you factor in that, and it's been conservative to give him half of those, then he's sitting at 26 touches. He's probably going to get 80% of those. He's probably going to get 30 touches, provided the game script goes the right way, I suppose.
He's going to get 30 touches. Only one team this year has had 30 touches against the Chiefs.
I'm just saying he could.
And who do you think that was? One guess. If you get it wrong.
Colts.
Well, they haven't played the Colts.
Haven't they? I don't know.
Is it Derrick Henry?
Yes.
That makes sense.
31.
I'm 31. Just trying to work out.
They did pretty well. 31 carries for only 93 yards.
Ooh. Gee.
No touchdowns.
Ooh.
I'm just trying to work out who the third back is in Denver. Oh, he's at number 94. 96.
He'll come up with a bullet.
That's who I put down.
I bet it is. Who is it?
Mike Boone.
Mike Boone, is it?
Is Mike Boone over there now, is he?
Yeah, he is, yeah. Good running back. Very good.
Ex-Viking.
He used to be for you boys.
Ex-Viking.
Yeah. He was good. He had a few very, very good.
Mate, I think probably someone at head office probably had him in their fantasy lineup. What week was it that week? Then he was like the number one guy, and he shit the bed for everybody. He was in the playoffs last year. Was it last year?
Oh, do you remember that?
Yeah. So that's probably he got moved on. Someone in the front office wasn't too happy about his fantasy lineup and said, "No, I think we're going to move this guy on there."
Oh, it's always brave in fantasy playoffs to play waiver guys, isn't it? I guess sometimes you have to roll the dice.
Well, mate, I went out and picked up Taysom Hill and didn't play him.
Oh, and didn't play him. 4 interceptions.
20. Doesn't matter, mate.
He got 100 rushing yards.
Mate, 28 points he scored in our league.
Yeah.
We obviously don't give negative points for interceptions, which is ridiculous.
Don't we?
No.
We should.
Well, how do you get 28 points and throw 4 interceptions?
Not. Yeah, we should, though. We should. Which league is that, G?
Is it the Melbourne League?
Oh, is it the Melbourne League?
Who's the commissioner in the Melbourne League?
Might be me. Is it?
Yeah, you have a good look at yourself, mate.
Yeah. We should be giving negative.
Okay, so who I've got down, because I'm playing in the deep end of the pool, in the dark blue stuff,
as you
where
told
real,
us
real
already.
people go. Well, I'm just hammering the point home. I've got Matt Breida.
Okay, it's not bad.
Well,
It's not
yeah,
bad.
for guys outside the top 26.
Yeah.
Up against you. The only problem is he's playing New England.
Oof.
It's not good. But the way I look at it is that what is Belichick going to do?
He's not really looking at Breida, I tell you. He's looking at Waddle.
What?
Isn't he?
Waddle? What are you looking at Waddle for? Was he going to go and get Waddle when he comes out of his rookie contract from Miami?
No, you're talking about him shutting people down, right?
Yeah, why is he looking at Waddle for?
Oh, I'm sorry. I got confused for a second. He's looking at Diggs.
That's not hard, is it, really? This gin's starting to take over. I'm getting coffee. But look, what he's going to do is he's going to do a Belichick. He's going, okay, you're going to have to beat us. We're going to cover the wide receivers like there's no tomorrow.
Yep.
You're going to have to run the ball against us, which is, well, probably not a good thing for the Bills because the running backs aren't, Singletary and Breida's the number 2 guy there at the moment. But was
Zach
that
Moss was inactive last week? Zach Moss.
Yeah, so
wow.
I figured that's a good thing if you want to play one of these running backs because they might get a hell of, especially Breida that catches the ball so well out of the backfield, and he's got the speed. He's far quicker than Singletary is.
Yeah,
and he's really only become part of the offense in the last 3 weeks, and in those 3 weeks he scored a touchdown every week. So he's had 15, 16, 6.7 and 11.5. And I'm still looking at guys like really deep. Maybe you might start him as a flex or something like that. Or if you have 3 running back leagues, like we play in a couple, AJ. He might sit in there. So I had Matt Breida.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Let's go across to wide receiver.
Okay. And
outside the 26.
And now we're all in the same
we are.
Depth of pool.
We are.
Okay.
Well, Ben, why don't you go first with your wide receiver? First wide receiver.
Yeah, okay. Look.
Did you have one?
Well, yeah, I've got 2 that I'm pretty happy about, but there's an element of boom and bust to both of them. So let me go for the first one. I'm going to go, and I also haven't really got them ranked. I haven't got like one above the other, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I'm going for Van Jefferson against the Jags.
Why am I even doing any research?
What?
Why am I doing research? I'll just wait. Let Ben spit it out.
Have you got him as well?
Yeah, I got Van as well.
Yeah.
It's a good pick.
Look,
yeah.
Six targets, at least 6 targets in the last 5 games. In that time, he's got 16 catches for 319 yards and 2 scores. And Jacksonville are giving up the 9th most passing yards and fantasy points to wide receivers in the last 4 games. Look, the issue is with Stafford. Funnily enough, I think more than it is with Jefferson. We've got Kupp, we've got Odell Beckham Jr., who also scored a touchdown last week. So there is a risk of boom or bust, but I think in that offense that doesn't seem to know how to play in low scoring games either. Like every game they're playing catch up over the last few weeks. You got to feel good about Van Jefferson and particularly against his secondary.
And look at the fact that Henderson is iffy with the quad. So you have Sony Michel. So maybe they lean more towards the pass this week. And in his favor as well is maybe like who are you going to lean towards? You're like Cup's Cup. Like you're going to cover Cup, how you cover Cup. So the 2 guys on the outside is you're going to cover Cup, how you're going to cover Cup. So you got Van on one side, you got Beckham on the other side. Who just in name recognition are you going to sort of like as a safety? Where are you going to step to which side are you going to step to? You're going to step maybe more towards the Beckham side, possibly. I don't know if guys play, safety like they play fantasy football and with name recognition. I'm not sure if that exists. But that's the way I was just looking at it. And if you look at like last week, what do you do against the Packers? He had three for 93 and a touch. Van Jefferson. I I just think he could be that little sort of sneaky bloke. And you got to look at mate Tyler Higby's doing nothing.
No,
he's become irrelevant basically, hasn't he, in this offense? Or as a tight end, which helps van that number 3 guy. Like is he number 3? Is he number 2? Because he slipped into that Robert Woods role very nicely.
Yeah, he's a handy player.
Yeah,
he's a handy player. There's no doubt.
Mate, he's averaging 17.6 yards a catch.
That's why the OBJ signing always felt a little unnecessary. But I guess,
they probably made it pretty good on jersey sales.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There's other factors, obviously.
Of course there is, mate. These guys are in it to make money.
Yeah.
It's a business.
It is a business. Yes.
That Super Bowl win is just a bit of icing on the cake of the whole thing. A bit of when they turn up to the owners' meetings, just a bit of, brag.
Yep.
I think you gotta bet against the Jacksonville Jaguars at any chance you get right now. I mean, who beat them last week? Some team that we've talked about on this pod a while, but
a team that I'm getting really pissed off that they've won what are they now? 6? What are you doing? What are you doing?
I saw them in the playoff picture thing on the TV. I was like,
it's not hard.
Is that Atlanta? Wow.
Yeah, but if you watch it when they lose this week, every week they're in, they're out. They're in, they're out. They're in, they're out. It's the most bizarre thing. Most bizarre thing.
I'm a Vikings fan. You don't need to talk to me about that.
We need a quarterback or we need something. Just why are we winning football games? I understand it builds a culture and all that, but so do good players.
Yes,
help.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, oh man, it's does it help you? If you make the playoffs, does it actually help? You're going to be out week 1 probably.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Does it actually help you? Anyway, my first one, here's where we find out if I've done it.
Yeah,
correctly.
Here we go. I've got it. Hold on. Wait. Let me just.
I'm about to get caned.
Here we go. PPR.
Yep.
It's changing. Your internet's a bit slow down here in the basement.
Okay.
So this is what happened to Germany and the Nazis and Hitler when he's in the bunker, because his Wi-Fi was so bad being in a bunker, mate. He was so far behind what was actually going on in real life. He's making decisions of shit that happened a month ago.
1940.
Yeah. Go.
Okay. Hunter Renfrow.
Mate.
No.
I'm not doing any more homework for this show.
He's at 27.
He's my second guy. God damn this. I hate doing this.
No Darren Waller. Well, Darren Waller, I think, is doubtful.
I could have just done something.
Mind you, Foster Moreau is a pretty handy fill-in. So, he would be. I didn't pick him for tight end, but you could potentially.
Mm-hmm. Very easily.
Did you do that? I'd take away another one. Washington's actually a pretty good matchup too for him. He had 8 catches for 134 yards last week.
No, you're wrong. And
what?
I'm wrong too.
What?
Hunter Renfro's outside. He's number 18.
He's number 27 in standard.
Standard.
Oh, no, really?
And, mate, I've done the same thing, because every time you go from one position to another, you actually, this is the stupid thing about this. Is
it resets it back
resets another, mate, hand up, guilty.
Okay, we both did the same thing. Never mind.
Okay, so if you handed this way,
the one person in the world that plays standard, still
God scoring. Shout out to my mate Carl, who doesn't take my phone calls, even though we're sharing a league together.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Renfrow was the pick.
Yeah,
and,
I had Renfrow as well, mate, to be honest.
Yeah. And Matt, he's very underrated as a player. He's not bad, Hunter Renfrow.
Look, he's up against Washington, who they're 29th on the season against wide receivers. But over the last 4 weeks, they've got. I don't know if they might have had a bye. Have they had a bye in the last 4 weeks? Because I usually find when teams drop a long way, they become better.
The Raiders have.
No, has Washington had a bye?
In
the last 4 weeks? They have? Okay, because that's why they've dropped down to number 12. So that's probably why against wide receivers. I always find when there's such a big drop.
Yep.
I didn't get a chance to look it up. So, but mate, he's seen 9 targets the last 3 or 4 games.
Yep. 2
TDs in those last 4 games. He's given you 17.9, 17.6, 7.5, and 21.6. Like you said, no Waller, no Henry Ruggs this week either.
Don't hold your breath.
Don't hold your breath on that.
What do you say to people when you look at their lineup and they've got Henry Ruggs still on their team?
We're not playing fantasy anymore. You probably
They've stopped paying attention.
Managed leagues where they're either out after like 3 weeks of the season because they didn't win the first 3 weeks and they're out.
Yeah.
Or they really hated who they drafted and they say, "Fuck this, I'm not doing it."
Yeah. Some people, I think, in managed leagues, they just do it for the draft.
Oh, yeah.
And
no
then they're
doubt.
gone. Yeah.
No doubt.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So, Ben, who was my 2 being covered by both of you guys. So,
okay.
Who was your number 2?
Coming off the bye, I've gone for the veteran, AJ Green against the Bears. So the Bears giving up the 6th most fantasy points to wide receivers. AJ Green's had at least 6 targets in the last 8 games. He went 7 targets, 4 catches for 78 before the bye. No matter who's behind center, whether it's Kyler Murray or Colt McCoy,
who are they
feel
playing
confident.
again? Sorry,
they've got
playing?
the Bears, who
Bears, okay.
They're giving up, like we said, the 6th most fantasy points to wide receivers. And Nuke also a game time decision, and those 3 have sat out, I think, the last 3 games. Is that right? Or is it 4?
Yes.
It might be 4.
Nice.
Could be.
I think they had a bye.
Could be 2.
They had a bye. So it's 4 weeks no matter what. But
I've got Kyler Murray, and my backup is my 3rd quarterback in a 2 QB league is Kurt, your boy.
Yeah.
And mate, he's done me very proud.
He's been good.
He's been very good.
Yeah.
Mate, I'm actually thinking, does Kyle even get a spot back in my life this week? He's in.
Gee. Well, if he's gimpy, then maybe not.
Yeah,
in all honesty.
When I was looking at these rankings, Kirk Cousins is the 10th ranked, so 10th for week 13, and he's got the Lions. So hang on a minute, these guys are all above him. Matt Stafford, Dak Prescott, who had a bit of a shocker the other day. Jalen Hurts, fair enough for the rushing stuff. Justin Herbert, who, yeah,
we'll talk talk about him.
Of course.
And then the top 4, fair enough, with Josh Allen, Mahomes, Brady, and Lamar Jackson. But even Lamar Jackson, number 1 rank.
Even Josh this year.
Yeah. Against the Patriots. So I think Kirk's probably a bit of a disservice there at 10, given his performances. But I just think AJ Green, solid option there, particularly given what was around him. He was. Sorry, I lost the number. I think he was ranked. Sorry, I've got it up here. Yeah. So look,
48.
48. That's pretty deep down when you consider what we were just talking about with 26. The top 26 are you take any of them, to be honest. But after that, it's a rough ride. You're looking at wide receiver 3s, 4s, big boom bust guys like we talked about.
The condoms I buy when I'm in the chemist.
But yeah, the guys ahead of him: Jamison Crowder, T.Y. Hilton, Kenny Golladay, Tim Patrick. Not much there.
What's wrong with Tim?
Yeah.
Tim is not bad.
Tim's okay.
Yeah.
Don't pick on Timmy. Don't pick on Timmy.
Yeah.
No, good pick.
Well, you'll have to tell me where this guy is because, like G had alluded to, we've done it wrong.
Yeah.
But my second one is Cordarrelle Patterson.
Yeah, this is a bit of a
I looked at that too, Ben. I looked at that and I said, no, you can't do it. That's
why?
Because it's bullshit.
What do you mean?
And mate, how many times has he lined up as a wide receiver as compared to running up as a running back?
Well, I'm just
Fantasy
Pros has got him there ranked.
Has he been a running back the whole time in a wide receiver's body?
Basically.
And no one's worked it out.
But like, it was so funny. I saw him there at like, what is he, like 58 or something? And I'm
having a look now, mate. He's 58.
And I was like, I'm not gonna do it because I know G'll do it. I know G'll do it. And me and AJ will rip him for it. And what's AJ gone and done? Picked him.
I did it.
Yeah.
If you go on Fantasy Pros and have a look at what they give a little little spiel about a player, and I don't think they mentioned him as a wide receiver.
Gee, last week he caught 2 for 27. He also had 108 rushing yards. But anyway, hey,
he's like a jacked up Deebo Samuel.
Yeah. I was so annoyed last week.
Would you say that about Samuel though? Probably not, right?
No.
Even though he hasn't caught a pass in the last 2 games. Hasn't caught one pass.
Do you call those little?
He's a weapon.
The little shuttle throws. They're passes.
He's an offensive weapon
because they're not handoffs. They're not running plays.
No, they're not forward though.
Jimmy G gets credit for those, right?
Yes, he does.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So, I don't think he does.
Yeah, Corderell last week was very frustrating because I know, like a lot of people, because he was questionable, and I think a game time decision.
Yeah.
And then he went in, and you know those players, and you're always just like, if I put him in my lineup, they're going to give him like 5 carries, and that's it.
I got him in one league, and guess what?
What?
I started him.
You did?
Yes.
Oh.
Maybe because I was asleep and I couldn't be bothered getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I just left him in there.
Oh, well, you were very happy. 2 touchdowns on top of the 108 rushing yards. So Corderell was my second.
Isn't it a shame that he's found the person that he is as an NFL player
at 31 or something? Well,
no, don't worry about his age. It's the fact that he plays for the Falcons and he's found it, and they're going nowhere. Yeah, it's a shame.
With respect though, better coaches have tried. I don't know what clicked.
Hey,
how's the light bulb worked? I don't understand.
Smitty has worked it out.
Oh, I don't know what it is.
He is. What's that like in that movie? It's like a box. You got to work it out to open it up, and you pull. But he's worked it out.
Like a Rubik's Cube. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Pandora's box.
Well, it's a good
That's
line.
bad. Pandora's box is bad.
It's
not be that.
I went to school with a girl called Pandora. Never saw her box though.
Anyway, tight. Oh yeah, I've got a bad segue actually. Tight end.
Can I go first?
Yes. Okay, go.
Just so that the fact that I'm not. Well,
that's what she said.
That's what she said, but it's never what happens. I'm gonna go a little bit deep this week. Hold on, here we go. See, I stayed PPR. There we go. How did that happen?
Really?
Yeah, don't know why I did
I
that.
bet mine's wrong.
Okay,
now.
so I've got the number 21 on the tight end chart.
Okay,
of the Billboard Top 50. Yes, Uzuma.
Oh, nice.
Good pick.
Look. Grant, he's going up against the Chargers, mate. The Chargers are terrible, and the Chargers are terrible. I think. Well, their defense is just crap. AJ,
in the middle, it is. Yeah.
And where does Zuma
work in the middle?
Where does he work?
He works in the middle.
He works in the middle. But it's also the Chargers are sort of like they go by the flow of their quarterback too, don't they? As a team,
they do a bit. Yeah, they do.
And he is like good, bad.
A little bit. Yeah,
bad,
lacking a bit of consistency.
Sort of. But anyway, look, granted, over the last 4 weeks, old Zuma hasn't been the greatest. He's giving you, 7.3, 6.4, 2.9, and 3.9.
What sort of targets is he getting? That's a
4,
question.
5, 3, and 3.
Yeah, see,
which is not great.
There's a lot of competition.
There is a lot of competition. I wrote that down. You got Chase, you got Higgins, you got Boyd,
Mixon.
You got Mixon, who's just killing it.
Yep.
Like, why would you move away from someone killing it in the running game?
Yep.
fifth-year breakout. But there's always just that chance against this defense, and where, like you said, the middle of the field is where the Chargers break down. It's just that chance that he's there. He's that guy, And it's just a hope and pray sort of pick this week. Bit of a gut. I'm going for a gut thing more than a stat pick this week.
This Bengals offense, it's great for them, but it's kind of tricky for fantasy. It's hard to pick a guy, apart from if you've got Chase, where you play him every week, or Mixon.
Yeah, but Chase is only doing it. He's not putting up big yardage numbers.
Yeah.
He's been touchdown dependent a bit.
Yeah. Oh, true.
Higgins, you never know. Higgins is the guy that's getting a ton of targets.
Yeah, I know.
I think he leads the team in targets.
Does he really? Higgins I like a lot, but it's a risky play, because if Chase goes off, then you're kind of done.
You're in trouble.
Yeah.
And look, mate, Mixon's like boom, bang, start like.
Oh, isn't he? He looks fantastic.
He does. But yeah, that's my tight end for this week. That's a gut. That's just a gut feel this week that he might just pop up for that touchdown. That is so that puts your tight end over the top, doesn't it?
Oh, if they get in the end zone, that's brilliant.
Benny.
Ben.
Hunter Henry for me.
Look at Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously had a bit of a poor one last time out, and but I mean, I remember watching the game. Like Matt Jones, who was very good. I mean, he was wide open. He would have had a 28-yard score, and Jones overthrew him. So he should have probably come away with a touchdown again last week against a tough Tennessee defense. So I mean, hasn't scored for 2 straight games, but before that scored 7 touchdowns in 5 games. So
mate, last two weeks, 4 targets, 4 receptions, 41 yards. That's all he's done.
Yeah. So it is, it is a risk. I did look at Uzoma as well. And Buffalo's a tough matchup. The other guy I also looked at was Evan Ingram, because Kyle Rudolph is questionable again. But then when I heard that Mike Glennon was starting at quarterback, I was like,
not just that. You look at Evan Ingram and you actually notice that's Ingram I'm looking at. No, that's not right. I got to move on from that.
Yeah, exactly.
I get you.
Cupboard's thin, but I think, I think, in these games, AFC, obviously, Belichick will look here to make a statement, I reckon. And that Hunter Henry has been a staple for them in the red zone. So, I'm banking on that. Missed out due to a poor throw last week, but you can just see him popping up with a touchdown this week against the Bills.
No, yep.
Okay.
I like it.
All right. My selection is a guy that I think people have forgotten about to some extent. Made a return last week. Wasn't sort of that flashy, although he did have a touchdown taken away by the refs, and it would have been a little bit more interesting if he'd got that one. But it's Logan Thomas.
No, I have to look at this.
I think he's in the top 12.
It has to be.
I think he's 13.
He's number 13.
Oh, well, okay, you can give it to me if he's 13.
No, I can't.
That's all right. What?
Let me have a look at standard scoring. He'd still be in there if he was standard scoring.
No, it's 15. I wrote down that he was.
He is too. 15 standard.
Right. Yeah.
How was he at 15? How was Tyler Higbee above him?
I don't know. That makes no sense to me. Because Logan Thomas...
How is Pat Frymouth above him as well?
Frymouth looks good.
He does look good. But, yeah, but... okay.
But listen, Logan Thomas, now, he is a guy who I think the fantasy community as a whole has forgotten a little bit about. He's a fantastic player. We've got McKissick out. Heineke really does like to target him in the red zone. And as I said, his numbers from last week would have looked a hell of a lot better if he'd got the touchdown. He
stolen.
It was stolen from him.
Oh, what a shocking decision that was.
Yeah. So, I think who have they got this week? Did I say they've got the Raiders? So, I think he could have a good one, Logan Thomas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glad you think that. All right, let's move on to
defense. Well, this shouldn't matter, hey? Kicker.
Kicker comes before defense, mate.
All right,
Kicker's
then
more
kicker.
important.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
kicker.
Well,
who you got,
PPR
Ben?
or non-PPR shouldn't matter. So
No, I don't think it matters.
no,
Doesn't matter, really?
shouldn't.
I'm gonna have a look to see if I'm gonna have a look to see if it changes from standard to kicker. What Ben gives us this guy.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go for a guy who I picked.
It does change.
No,
It does.
Oh.
Bullshit. It does. Ryan Suckup went from 4, I'm sure, to 5.
No.
Wait for it.
The algorithm. The algorithm is broken.
No, it's all right. It's all right. No, it's okay. it's just I haven't got my glasses on.
Okay.
All right.
This guy's had 2 first place kicker finishes this season. And,
Ooh, wow.
3 inside the top 7 as well, outside of those 2. So
where do you find these stats on kickers?
Just wonderful. Kicker.com.au. Try it.
We are real people.
2 field goals and an extra point last week. Graham Gano for the Giants, because Graham Gano, they don't score touchdowns, so they constantly fail about 20 to 30 yards out. Absolutely perfect. So
I did look at Graham Gano, but the reason I didn't grab him is because Glennon's the starting quarter. Not that it's any much of a downgrade.
Yeah.
But that's why I didn't pick him. But hey, you owe me a 6-pack from last week, just letting you know. But we should have another 6-pack, double or nothing this week.
Yeah, all right.
Because
what last week was.
On what?
Yeah, it was on 2. It was on players. I can't remember. I'll go back and look at the tape. But I won. We should have a 6-pack this week because I'm going to go on the same field at the opposite end of the ground.
Jason Sanders.
I'm going Jason Sanders.
I was like this as well.
Because I reckon that for the same fact is that the Giants defense is good enough to stop the touchdown, but they're not good enough to stop them from getting within kicking distance. And I reckon in this game, you're just going to, mate, just give me the 3 points. Because this year we've seen a lot of fourth downs attempts this year from inside the 50, right? I reckon this is one of those games. Just give me the 3 points. Just give me the 3. Just give me. And I think this week is Jason Sanders could have a very nice field goal week because I don't think they're going to score that. He might get 1 or 2, extra points, but I think it's going to be more field goals for him this week.
Yeah, double or nothing. Lock it in.
Double or nothing? Okay, we're down.
Excellent. Well, they're both great selections, actually. I went Robbie Gould for the Niners, but primarily on the fact that Debo's not playing this week. So I think the Niners are going to be a little hobbled, although, Ayuk hopefully gets a decent amount of ball. He hasn't looked bad last couple of weeks. Eli Mitchell looks pretty good, but I just think, missing someone who looks as good as Debo does at the moment might just stop him a bit short. So, they must miss that.
The ignition.
That's right. So they could struggle a little bit. So I thought Robbie Gould.
Yep. No, I like that one too. All right. Defense.
How are you
going to wrap this up early?
An hour 8, less than an hour and a half is early by our standards. So defense, Ben, do you want to go first?
I mean, there was only one choice for me, really. That was the 49ers. They have the Seahawks, and we all know what the Seahawks look like on offense now.
Horrid.
There's a big Achilles heel,
Yes. There's someone missing in the middle of the field.
There's not someone. There's Fred Warner and Greenlaw both missing from the middle of the field.
Oh,
So
Al Shahir has actually been
played out of his mind.
He's been starting in front of Greenlaw. He did anyway last week, but yeah, Warner's going to be a big loss for sure. But I mean, come on. Have you watched the Seahawks offensive line try to block anybody?
Mate, have you seen them try to run an offense at all? Don't worry about just the offensive line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just like when it just looks like a massacre, feels like a massacre, will be a massacre. Like it just feels like that, So I mean the 49ers defense struggled a bit last week against the Vikings, even though the refs were on their side. I'll just add that in for the last few quarters. But before that, they had the fourth and the fifth best fantasy finishes in the 2 weeks before that against the Rams and the Jags. And you feel like the Jags, it's going to be a very similar type of game. They're going to get, a lot of pressure on the quarterback. And I mean, one thing that Russell Wilson hasn't looked good with is when he's put under pressure. That's what, he's been really struggling with the last few weeks. So, I just feel like that's a slam dunk.
I had originally written down the 49ers and then I crossed it out because of Fred Warner. But, the fact that Pete Carroll is rumored to be a candidate for some of these college vacancies tells you everything you need to know about the Seahawks this season. And Russ has looked bad, hasn't he?
And they can't run the ball. They just cannot.
No.
Doesn't matter who they put in there, they can't run the ball.
No. G, who did you have?
Mate, I wrote down Washington.
Yeah.
And then I wrote, I really don't know why.
Oh, they've been good.
Yeah, but then go and have they've been good at as in keeping teams to low scores over the last, like at least 2 of the last 3 weeks. The Bucks down to 19, the Seahawks to 15. But then go and have a look at the sacks, interceptions, all that. Nothing. Zero. Zip. Nada. Crap. So
26.
There's no use picking a defense based on the fact that they can keep teams to a low score because that's not how you score. In fact. So I went and got the Bengals. So I went and grabbed the Bengals, who are 19th on this list. They're playing against the Chargers this week. And as I said, the Chargers offense obviously goes on your quarterback like most do. And Herbert's been, since week 6, it's been good, bad. Very good, bad. Each week. It's been a roller coaster. Unfortunately, this week is a good week for him. But I just thinking maybe this might be the week for the Tide. Might turn just a little. They're playing at home, the Bengals.
This could be a shootout. This could be such a high-scoring game.
It could be.
Yeah.
But the Bengals are 11th best in sacks, the 13th best in interceptions, the 5th best in points allowed.
That's pretty good.
So I'm taking the fact that you get points for interceptions, sacks, all that type of stuff, more than you get just keeping the team to a low score with nothing.
True.
So that's why I grabbed the Bengals this week.
Yeah, that's a great pick. And
it is.
I love watching the Bengals for one guy, Trey Hendrickson. Phenomenal off the edge. Has 10.5 sacks and 4 forced fumbles this year. They obviously got him in free agency from the Saints. But just a guy who, has moves inside, outside, gets to the quarterback. Like that pick.
He's been a lot better than I thought he'd be, I must confess. I didn't think Trey Hendrickson would ball out like he has. I was a bit dubious about the signing. I hate my selection. I think it's terrible. I like what you picked because I
can I pick. Let me look down here who you've gone for. I reckon outside of the top 13.
Yeah.
Well, it might not.
It wouldn't be the Steelers because there's one particular player that's not going to line up, so you wouldn't pick the Steelers.
I didn't.
No. Possibly the Broncos, but the problem is you're playing against KC. And,
I didn't pick the Broncos.
But the Broncos, mate, they've been great with sacks and interceptions.
I think they're going to get torched.
But they're going to the score might hurt you a little bit there.
Yep.
What about the Falcons? They've got the the Buccaneers this week. That's promising.
That's a. You haven't gone the Raiders, have you?
No, I didn't go the Raiders.
You go the Raiders?
No.
I can't see who.
No, because it's not logical, really.
It's not going to be, is it?
No.
Okay, who is it?
I went. It's on a prayer. I went Chicago because in the event that Kyler Murray and Nuke aren't playing.
Oh no, that's fair. That's fair.
But mind you, Colt McCoy's been more than serviceable. But Chicago, when you dig a bit deeper, their defense hasn't been great. They're 18th in points allowed, second in sacks, 26th in turnovers. It's a bit.
Is it in Chicago?
Yes, it's in Chicago.
Oh, yes, I like that. Could be cold.
So it's I'm not in love with it, but it's roll the dice a bit on that one, maybe.
No, I don't mind it though. With the if Kyler doesn't play,
if Kyler doesn't play,
if
Kyler doesn't play, and if Kyler plays and you've picked him, well, bad luck. Then who knows? Sometimes defense can be a coin toss, though. Sometimes you get a surprise. Who knows?
Well, the best teams this year against the Cardinals, the best defenses against the Cardinals, the Panthers in week 10 with 20 fantasy points.
Okay.
The Vikings in week 2, 13.
Yep.
And the only other game that any team has got double-digit points against the Cardinals as a defense is the Packers in week 8, and they were 10.
Yep.
So only 3 times this year has a defense scored 10 plus, gotten double digits against the Cardinals offense.
Yep.
So there you go.
Yep.
How many games has Kyler missed? 4? 3.
Is it 3?
Did he play the Packers game? I don't remember.
Don't think he did he?
So if he didn't, just say he didn't play that game. So 2 of the last 4, the defense has scored 10 plus. So you might be onto something there, AJ.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, that's it.
Done.
That's it. Done. And we're an hour 17. Okay. All right.
I was going to say.
Here we go. You're going to screw it up.
The Bears have scored half. The Bears defense have scored half the points of the number 1 fantasy defense this year. So the Bears have scored 67 fantasy points this year as a defense.
Right.
Who is number 1? And what is their
good
score?
Question. Who is number 1?
They are number 1 by 20 fantasy points.
Wow.
The number 1. It have to be the Patriots.
It is the Patriots, of course.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking, I don't want to say the Patriots. It feels like a sort of too easy answer. Is it really? Oh.
It is, but they're
unbelievable.
They have been buoyed by their last 4 weeks, which their last 4 weeks were 20, 14, 28, 14.
Well, Matt Judon could be one of the free agent signings of the offseason.
Ooh, might he be close to the free agent signing? Mate,
he's balled out.
It doesn't hurt that everybody else is wearing particularly blue and white, and you've got the bright red.
Easy to spot.
It's easy to spot.
And Kyle Van Noy had a week last week.
Kyle Van Noy he's having a pretty good year.
Yeah, he was another one who we've seen it with a few Patriots where they go and they're crap and they come back into the system and then they ball out.
Maybe they're in a system for so long. I just can't do this anymore.
Maybe.
And then you move away and you find this freedom and it's just like, I don't like,
it doesn't work for me.
Freedom.
No.
A bit like if I go on holidays, I can't sit on a beach and have that relaxing. I have to get in amongst the hustle and bustle.
Do you?
And that's what I like, the hustle and bustle, which is stupid because you go away for a holiday to relax. But I can only relax for a certain amount of time.
Right.
And I like to get back into the hub. Yeah. And maybe that's the same thing as they find that, even though I found it hard I found it hard, it's what suited me.
Right.
And what brought out the best in me.
It's like I used to go to, when I was in Europe, I used to go to like Spain for 2 weeks, like every year. And I get there, beautiful by the beach, like lovely hotel, sit out of the pool day one. And then like the morning of day two, I'd be in the foyer planning a trip to Barcelona for the day. I was like,
right.
I've got to go see something now. Like I've done the beach for a day. I need to do that. But interesting with Van Noy and Judon, both guys who not all out and out pass rushers, have spent time at linebacker, have spent time, in different roles. But obviously I think we talked about this with Micah Parsons a few weeks ago. And we kind of thought, it will be interesting to see what they do with him. And it looks like he's playing up at the line of scrimmage a hell of a lot, which is not what we thought. So, these guys seem to, like you say, sit well with coaches who know how to use them, for probably the way they're not getting paid for.
Yes, absolutely. Well, listen, well done, guys. We got in sort of a little bit under time.
Yeah.
But let's wrap this up. So week 13, as I said, couple of weeks left probably in your fantasy season. So very best of luck with making that playoff push. If you're still in contention, that is
12 and zip.
12 and zip in Aussie Guys 1. Ooh, man. That's a good effort, G.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go whole regular season
I'm
zip.
Myself. No, I'm just.
Aren't you playing me this week?
Yes.
Ooh, I'm going to take that one. I'm going to add that one on your end of your little thing there.
That's all right.
12 and 1.
I've already wrapped up top spot.
Yeah, easily. You've probably got like a 3-game break on the rest of us. Have you? 12 and zip.
I have no idea. I don't look at these things.
Well, you'd hate to get 12 and zip and then get into the playoffs and lose.
Is this year, if I look through all my fantasy, let's try and wrap this up quickly. I look through all my fantasy leagues, more so this year than any year that I've been. How long have we been doing this fantasy thing? 8 years?
Yeah,
that's
probably.
all. Maybe 8 years. We've been running leagues. I've never seen so many teams like at 6 or 6. Like that, like in that group. You've got this maybe 2 or 3 guys that have sort of like, okay, well, let's forget about those guys. And you got this massive people in the middle. Like you might have, mate, like in some leagues, I reckon we've got like 8 people that are 1 game tops that's separating, and like 6 guys on the same. I think it's just because of the injuries and everything that's going on, that it's really has kept the middle core really closer than usual. That's just what I've noticed in a lot of leagues.
Yep.
And you can drop 5 spots in 1 week and then jump back up to that next spot the following week.
Well, it's great because like our Melbourne league. So I'm 6 and 6, and
I'm 6 and 6.
And I think I might be too.
The last 3 weeks, my scores have been 3rd top score, 2nd top score, 3rd top score. Lost all 3.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. You know what? In sleeper, I'm in a couple of sleeper leagues, and they have this very interesting setting. G, I think you might like this one, right? So you still play win-loss. The all play thing is nice. I know we like that, but win-loss, right? But there's another win you get or don't get if your score is above the median.
Oh, yeah. I'm in one of those leagues. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, if you had a win but you were below the median, you'd just get 1. Yeah. But if you're above, you'd get 2. But then if you beat someone and they had quite a high score, but you beat them, they could still get a point.
It's like 1 and 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he understands what I'm saying. He doesn't. I don't know. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
You just don't think it's any good?
I'm thinking we're going to hit 130 in a minute.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll wrap it up. All right. Thanks, everybody. as I said, hope your teams are doing well. And we've got to think of something for 14, but we'll do that later. But thanks as always for watching and tuning in. And on behalf of Ben, G, and myself, we will catch you later. Thanks, everyone. Ciao.